darling. Please, it's too much. Oh, hello. Sorry, it was just I'm joking. It's got me all flustered now. This is number 11. Welcome to vBlog number 11 from the House of Round. And today we are in front of the mixing desk. The mixing desk has slowly but steadily moved its way to the back of the room where it's going to stay until we sand the floor. I'll tell you all about that in a little bit. I'm sure you can't wait to hear about the sanding. So this week, finally, we have a ceiling and it just looks beautiful. It's a pale shade of plummy colour. Paul's convinced it's grey, but I think it's a very light shade of plum. So that's finally up there, and it took forever to do, to no fault of the plasterers, but this room is it wasn't warm enough to just basically to have it to dry, and it wouldn't dry, and they kept coming back to kind of put the final layer on, and it still wasn't dry, and it still wasn't dry, it still wasn't dry. Eventually the main guy came down, bought a heater, came down on a Sunday and put a couple of heaters in here and sorted it right out. So now we have a ceiling and it's very exciting. And we have this light box here, which we were up on top of the scaffolding, putting this box on the ceiling and gluing the melamine foam to the Modex plate. And there was Richie was here with us, which was lovely. And he was here while we were trying to get the glue to finally dry on the melamine. We're just having problems with basically things drying this week. But anyway, finally it did. I got my hairdryer out and was determined to make it dry. So finally dried, and it's stuck up there, and it's still up there, and it hasn't come down. So we're hoping that that's never going to happen. And then the other day we stuck a load of lights on top of the melamine in a crisscross fashion, and hopefully they're all going to work, and it's not going to be like that kind of Christmas lights that once you've put them all on the tree and the tree looks beautiful and then you're waiting for the big moment and the lights don't come on because there's one bulb that's being annoying and doesn't come on, so you have to take them all down again. Anyway, that will not happen. I believe it won't happen, therefore it won't happen. Attach lights. Disappearing Number. Yes, I went to see it again. Oh my god, it's such an amazing play. I had to go again, and I went back the second time and it was even more amazing. Yeah, Disappearing Number. Anyway, it's finished now, so you can't see it. Sorry! But you could maybe go next year and see it. I recommend it. It's so good. And it was, they were improvising along the way. A lot of the script and everything was improvised by the actors and guided by the director. So the first time I went it was 3 weeks ago, and it's evolved quite a bit since then, and I had a really good seat this time so I could actually see what was going on. But it was so great, and I was really, really emotional, and throughout like the last 10 minutes I was so kind of zoned out with what was going on stage that I wasn't really concentrating, and all I could think about was telling somebody that I wanted to tell them that I loved them. That's all I could think about. I have to call and tell him that I love him. And anyway, so I did, and it's great. So if you love somebody and you haven't told them, maybe you should. I love you. Anyway, so that was good. And then afterwards, Tina Grace, who's the girl that I went to see it with, she's lovely. And she knew one of the actresses, actors, Saskia, and she's like the lead actor. And I wasn't expecting to see her when I came out, and there she was in her tracksuit, and I kind of wasn't emotionally ready to connect the character on stage with a real person there outside the Barbican stage door, and I kind of was a bit of couldn't come up with anything particularly good to say because I was just a bit overwhelmed by it all. Anyway, Saskia, I do know how to speak English, and maybe another time I can say something half decent to you. What else? Oh, I've tried Pilates this week. Pilates, don't you know? Flatten the stomach muscles. I went because a friend of mine was saying that she hadn't been for ages and she really should find time to go. And I said, well, okay, I'll go with you. I've never done anything like that before. And went down and kind of didn't really feel like anything was really happening. It was kind of you know, stretching and, you know, doing some stuff, which didn't feel like I was really breaking out in a sweat at all. But then the next day, I was like a statue. I was so stiff the next day, so I'm quite intrigued, because I like exercise where you don't actually feel like you're exercising. It's my kind of exercise. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that old Pilates stuff. Japanese lessons are going very well. Ichini san yongo rokanana hatakyuju. It's 1 to 10 for those of you who don't know Japanese. Which is going really well. In fact, we did that on the same day as our Pilates, so we're having kind of body, mind day. And then we went to the pub and got left all our good work behind. Paul has been making CD shells. I haven't actually seen them yet, but I believe they're coming on quite nicely. I did some more stuff with Knitting Sawney to finish off our tune, which we don't have a name for yet, but working title, all the way home. Bring it home. Bring it home. And I had a bit of a sore throat, so I didn't sing very well. And we listened back to all the ambience that we'd recorded in the fish market and Battersea Animal Farm, and yeah, it was very funny actually, quite interesting to hear back all that stuff. The scaffolding's gone, as you can see, yes, and the room feels so huge. I don't ever remember it feeling this big. That's maybe to do with the fact that there has been this scaffolding in here, so we all felt, you know, like very close to the ceiling, and suddenly it's gone, and you know, that's a major factor. But also, it does actually feel, I don't think it's going to wear off, because I do think it feels bigger, and I think it's to do with the clean lines and the kind of staged ceiling. I think that's part of the reason why it feels so nice and big. So today we have been got rid of the scaffolding, and then we just cleaned up and scraped all the plaster that was all over the floor, and brushed it, and I got the old mop out, didn't we? And we got along rather famously, and that was good. And then tomorrow I'm going to sand it, and I'm just so itching to get going. I really, really can't wait. I just get excited about it. Every time I talk to somebody about it, it's like a new baby. It's like I've had a baby, and all I want to talk about is my baby. And I imagine that's what it's like anyway. So I'm feeling like I'm kind of slightly boring people by going on about how great this whole thing is, and what kind of paint I'm going to be using, and what kind of trees I'm going to paint on the wall, and that kind of thing. But it's just so exciting. I just can't wait to get in here and get recording. Now I've got a plan anyway, which I think I told you about last week. Okay. Oh, and somebody's asked me to do a remix, and I hope I've got time. This band called IMX, who I think I've also told you about at some point. They have asked me, or he has asked me, or somebody to do with them has asked me to do a remix of a song of my choice, and my choice was this song called Spit It Out, which is one of my favourite songs ever. So I'm very excited about that. So I really hope I can get things together in time to do the remix. So there we go. That is this week from me and the mop, and I'll see you next week for number 12.